right. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Spotless Minds podcast. It's your host, Olivia Jonell, and I am with the lovely, the beautiful, the amazing Lavender. And she is a content creator, anime enthusiast, actress. I mean, the woman can do it all. And so I'm so excited to sit down with you today. We got some stuff we can get into. So I want to start off with, how was your week? How you doing? What's been going on? Oh,
It's been a long week, and it's only Thursday. It's been a lot of meetings like this, definitely a lot of online calls, studio sessions. My brother's recording an EP. His name is Mikey Rap. So we got in pretty late last night, but I'm still bright and early for you.
one
What
time
else?
thing.
I appreciate, yeah, I was like, one thing I am is I'm a firm believer of dedicating time. If I tell somebody I'm gonna be somewhere and do something, I could be rolling in drunk or tired, but I'll be there. So yeah, it's been a week. I don't know, this week was just unusually busier than normal. I got a lot of edits to do. So it's been a week. We're still going. Definitely still going.
Yes, it's that full moon energy. I don't know if you're into astrology,
Oh,
but
for sure.
yeah,
You
this
can
week
see my house. I was like, I've got my altar, my stones, yeah, I don't play about that.
I
Absolutely.
can't see it, but I can see, I can imagine it. So I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, so I have been watching you. Well, we met. Did we meet? Have we ever met in person?
We met like once, and that I was telling my husband this just yesterday. I was like, we met like once when I first moved to Cali around 2016, like yeah, almost like 7 years ago, and that was the first and last time I saw you.
But I've been watching you on Instagram and I've watched your journey. And
Mhm.
one thing that has inspired me the most about your journey is your content creation journey.
Thank you.
And now that I'm like tapping more into content creation, I know how much confidence that takes. I know how much consistency it takes. The
Mhm.
creativity part, keep
Yeah.
your mind strong. So tell me about that journey for you and what's been the motivation and pillar of that transition for you.
Ooh, starting content creation for me was very scary. I felt that I was very late to the game. Around 2016, when a lot of people had moved to California, that was the thing. The internet was on and pop. And 2016 was a year for that. A lot of the creators we watch now who have transcended to like mainstream television, they started in 2016 on the internet. So for me, trying to take a leap of faith, like I don't really understand the internet. I consider like my generation the middle children. I'm a millennial, so you have like the older generation that knows like labor and hard work. We got stuck in the middle of like the analog and internet age, and then you have the ones that are younger than us that just use the internet. So content creation was really difficult for me because I didn't know, do I go the traditional route and do the legwork to get the work that I need to get done to get recognized as an artist, or do I use the internet in order to do that? So it's been a battle, still is. I think what what propelled me to move forward into content creation are my peers. Sometimes they see you better than you see yourself because it's like what does Liza say? You can see the forest from the trees, kind of thing. So I took a risk. It was very scary at first because it's uncharted territory for me. But a book that I read often when I ever feel stuck or scared, because you got to keep in mind that you're an artist and you're sensitive about your stuff. So, and the internet is
Erica Badu.
okay, period, because the internet is vast for criticism. So if you leave yourself open to that every time you post or create something, but a
Yeah.
book I go to often, I don't know if you're into the books, I'm a bookworm on a low, is Who Moves My Cheese? And
Mm-hmm.
there's a quote in there that he says, "What would you do if you're not afraid?" And anytime I feel like I get the anxiety or I can't create or I don't know how I'm gonna feel, I'm nervous, I literally ask myself, I'm like, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I go post it. And then I just close my eyes and literally hit post and be like, hope for the best. If it doesn't go the way I want, the most I can do is delete it. That's it. So that's how that started.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot of risk, a lot of fear, but I still get scared of creating stuff, even though I've been doing it probably consistently for about like 3, 4 years now. Still, it's
Mm-hmm.
something I just have not gotten over yet.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if you ever get over it. I hope you do, but I don't know if there's ever a time where you don't just care what people think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if is a stopping point, but you have made it look so easy.
Oh, thank you.
And your transparency, I think, just shows through your content because like not everybody can just get on there and like show their body like
Mm-hmm,
where it is
mm-hmm,
now. Not
mm-hmm,
everybody can show their workout progress. Everyone has this thing where they're like the content has to be perfect.
mm-hmm.
And so
And yes, I'm
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Um, I agree with that. And I think once you let that go is when I think you will create the best content ever. And then you'll attract, I think, the right audience. Because when you're trying to portray something that you may have a difficult time keeping up with, you won't you won't attract the right audience. And then you won't understand why they're not engaging. But if they can take you when you're fat, skinny, done up, not done up, no 40-inch bust down, afro, whichever which way, you'll cultivate the right audience and they would take you as you are, like, and then it would generally just be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I know we've talked about before, but yeah, once you come in and show up as your authentic self, which people I know sounds corny, but it's a real thing. People have difficulty showing up as themselves. They
Yeah.
want to show up as what they want to be perceived as. And that I feel like that's the fastest way to failure or short circuiting or burnout, trying to be something that you're not. Everybody progresses, excuse me, and grows. So if they see you when you're here, that's okay. Let them grow with you. Like Cardi B is an excellent example of that. We've been
Mm-hmm.
rocking with her from the strip club, teeth looking crazy, the nine, and then we grew with her all the way until she's hit superstardom. So I think that can apply for everyone across the board, whether you like her or not. But I'm just talking about like the growth part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
yeah.
you mentioned something on the phone about how you are able to like stay private with the things that you don't necessarily want to show. How do you do that? Like, how do you determine what it is you want to show, what you don't, and keep it separate?
Of
The
course,
balance.
I actually consult them. No, you're right. I actually consult the people that I love and care about, like my husband, my family, my friends. For me, where it initially started, when I was living in New York City, that's where I'm from. I was getting my nails done at a hair salon. I said, get my nails done at a hair salon. Get my nails done at a salon, and somebody was posting something, and unfortunately, it didn't work out in her best interest. She had probably some enemies out in the street, and they came to that place. From that moment forward, I was always very strategic about what I post because, you just don't know who has the right intention. But if it is something personal that I really want to share, I would consult whether it's myself. I'm like, hey, daddy, do you mind if I post this? He'd be like, honestly, mommy, I want that to stay private. I go, okay. Same thing with my family, my friends, because you just don't know what people have malicious intent or not. So that's how I've decided that I would always check in. Of course, I want to share my entire family, my friends, my loved ones, but I have to still consider their safety because the internet is the wild, wild west out there.
I like
For
that. I
sure.
like how you're
Yeah.
consulting people. I never even really thought about doing that. I know that sounds crazy, but like, yeah, I like that. I didn't think I knew you had a child. You have a child?
No, no children.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. I
No,
was like, what? Okay,
no,
okay.
it's like my family. The only person I consider my child is my youngest sister. I just didn't birth her, but she's mine. But
Okay.
yeah, even with her, she's 25 and I'm still like, hey, do you mind? And she's like, of course. But
Mhm.
because they mean so much to me, I just always check in and say, hey, do you mind? Because, maybe they don't want their image out there. So I'm always kind of check the temperature a little bit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So this channel is all about beauty, health, wealth. Um, how does that tie into what you do on the daily basis? Give us some
Okay.
tips
Yeah.
on your regimen, everything.
Okay, like a day like today, we're prepping to get in and do the things. In
Mhm.
the morning, I usually start, my house has to be clean. It's a thing about that. I'm not super religious, but I do believe that cleanliness is next to godliness. You just got to show up for yourself. That's something, me and my younger sister have also talked about. I feel like it's a form of self-care in a strange way, showing up for yourself and just presenting yourself as your best. I meditate. Like I said, I don't know if I could pivot my camera, but we'll get to it. I have an altar in my home, where I meditate, I journal. I definitely have to like empty my thoughts from the night previous, or I even try to meditate 5 to 10 minutes before I go to bed to kind of just dump the day out because I don't want to carry that in my subconscious through to the next day. I do have a morning and nighttime routine. I notice adding a nighttime routine helps me sleep a whole lot better.
Mhm.
I'm
What
big on
is
skincare.
nighttime routine?
Huh?
What's the nighttime routine?
So my nighttime routine is like when I come, it's kind of like the wind down. So I'll come in, let's say like a night like last night, late studio session, I'll come in. I usually would light a candle. I have one in my bathroom. I'll take a nice long shower. I'll do some evening affirmations just to remind myself of a great job that I did today, a great job that I'm going to do tomorrow, stuff like that. And literally that extra 10, 15 minutes of just like honing into myself, just being having gratitude and thankful for the day that now I can lay my head to rest and enjoy the next day. It has made my sleep and just into the next day so much better. Just that small 15, 10-minute adjustment.
Mm-hmm. And how many hours of sleep do you try to get a night?
Oh, I am a firmly 7 is my sweet spot. If I get 6, I'm thankful. But if I can get an 8 to 10, I'm in there. For sure. I'm 35 now. I go to bed at 9:30. I'm one of those. If I don't get a nap, I'm out. Today I got 5 hours, but we go make it work. For sure.
Same. Okay, so how do you manage being in a relationship and your self-care at the same time? I find when I'm in relationships, which is why I'm single, when their mood is off, I have difficulty like maintaining my own balance. What's been your I guess remedy for that?
Okay, especially being married. So of course, it's a lot. It takes a lot of work. My
Mm-hmm.
husband is an introvert and I'm an extrovert. So there's already challenges there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we both compartmentalize things very differently. So sometimes we have a 24-hour rule where if it's something that will affect you in the next 24 hours, then this is a discussion that needs to have had. But if you kind of simmer down, cool your temper or whatever it is, come down from it in the next 24 hours, we usually just kind of let it go. So that's what's been working for us. Because I'm an Aries, hothead, short fuse, that has helped a lot for me because sometimes I can get into really bad situations because I'm acting impulsively. So I usually will always be like, hey, you know what? Check back in with me in a little bit. Let me get my 24 hours. Let me see how I feel. I'll check my temperature. And I feel like if I still feel a way about something, I'll be like, okay, can we have a discussion about this? Because
Mm-hmm.
by then I'm level headed and I can point out the exact things that may have upsetted me or frustrated me, or maybe is it misplaced stress from work, those kind of things. So yeah, I would definitely say, I don't know if you would call that a delayed reaction, but give it time first, I think would help. Sometimes it'll just resolve itself.
Mm-hmm. How do you do that in the same house?
That's the thing. Thank God we're both gamers. I sometimes I'll stay in the room. He'll be in the living room, and he'll come and he'll be like, "Mom, you still mad at me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." Or vice versa. Papa, you still mad at me? He'd be like, "No, I'm not mad." Rule number one: we do not go to sleep angry. We will deal with it in the morning.
Nice. I love
Yes,
that. I love
it
that.
takes practice. It's no easy feat. I wouldn't even sit here and be like, "It's roses." This is somebody I've been with for a decade, so yeah, we've been through it all together for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Is he in the content creation space at all?
Not at all. My husband is a nerd through and through.
Okay. So,
Through. He is not creative. Yeah.
okay. And so how does your content creation affect him?
Yeah. So sometimes the long hours, because he doesn't really understand the strange hours that we have. Sometimes we got to work at night, during the day, the editing, the long shoots. Sometimes even the pro bono work, he doesn't really understand. He's like, "Why don't you guys get paid for everything that you do?" I was like, "Unfortunately, the industry was not built that way. This is a precedent long before I even entered Earth." So he doesn't understand that. However, what I do appreciate is because he's so green about things, the opinion is always very honest.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit there and be like, "Well, what do you think of this?" Because they're not thinking from a creative brain of the pros and cons of the material. It could be like, "Well, I like this part, but this part seems like this." It's
Mm-hmm.
very green. I know if I need an honest creative opinion, I can ask him because it's not biased. He's not a creative. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. But he's very supportive. That I can say.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give women out there right now who watch your content, who are like looking at you and they're just like, I don't know if I can be as confident as her, or I don't know if I can do what she can do. Just give
Mhm.
us some words of wisdom and strength.
Sure. I would say first things first, baby steps. Work with what you got. You will grow along the way, and patience is key. Nobody starts off like this. We've all had to work to get here in some form or facet, but I definitely would say patience is key. The better you know yourself, the easier it will become to become confident. I
Mm-hmm.
believe a quote that I heard recently was like, the greatest gift in life is getting to know yourself. Not
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't get that, in the course of life, because you're always still kind of figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Humans are always evolving. I journal a lot too, so I always kind of go back over my random thoughts, my most vulnerable moments, and that has helped me be like, okay, I can better understand this and work with that. So
Mm-hmm.
those would be my words to you. You can do it. It just might take some longer time. It might take some people shorter time, but definitely appreciate the gifts that you do already have. Do
Mm-hmm.
not worry about what you don't have yet. I'll say
One
that.
one great thing about being an artist is I feel like we have that luxury of getting to know ourselves because we have to create content.
Mhm.
So, what's been ways outside of like journaling, meditation, what's been ways of you getting to know who Lavender is?
As corny as this may sound, trial and error. I
Mm-hmm.
tried a couple things and I was like, ooh, that didn't go the way I thought it would. And then some things I'm like, okay, this actually surprised me. I wasn't even thinking of trying this and I like it. Definitely trial and error. Like, what do they say? To try is to fail. So it's like you might as well just do it and work it out. It's literally like you're never gonna get it right the first time, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I do my best to try to at least give it the E for effort and try to do it right. So I ain't got to do it twice, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do work. You have to be proactive. That's
Mm-hmm.
the word I'm looking for. I was like, what is my brain searching for? You have to be very proactive with yourself and really serious about yourself.
All right, guys. So I'm sponsoring my own podcast today. On this channel, we talk about all things health, wealth, beauty. And so, what better way to protect everything that you've been working hard towards the healthy eating, the working out, building your wealth, building your beauty, if you're not at least going to protect it financially? Back in the day, the men were the breadwinners. So when we passed away, there really wasn't much if we weren't married to really be passing down. Now we are bosses. Hello. CEOs. We are actually head of households these days. And so I just want to come and remind you that there's no better time to get your life insurance than who you are today, because your health, your age, all of those things affect your prices. So if you plan on having kids in the future, if you have kids in the present, if you're protecting your family and you were to pass away today, is everything that you've been building, your legacy, protected? Next question. If not, what better way than working with me and getting your family some life insurance? I'm the best at what I do. #1 life insurance agent. So definitely let me know. I am a broker, so I work with the top A-rated companies. So I can for sure get you the best deal in the market, with the best companies, fastest payouts. Girl, I got you. Just know I got you. All right.
To
Mm-hmm.
get to that point.
Mm-hmm. So what's next for Lavender?
Oh
Con-
my goodness. Trying to understand acting. The acting industry is still, even though I've been in it for a few years now, it's still very green for me. But
Mhm.
I also do feel that I have some other gifts and talents that I haven't explored yet. I got called on one of them yesterday, so in the studio, so I kind of had to eat that. There's parts of myself that I'm still vulnerable about that I want to work on, do some shadow work, and just keep growing and evolving as an artist and as a woman at that, for
Mhm.
sure. A Black woman at that. Period.
Mhm. Mhm. I feel like people don't understand how difficult the acting space can be,
Mhm. It
especially
is.
for Black women. Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
the layers. Mhm.
So what have you learned recently, for all the actors out there, actresses as well? Just some key tips new in the industry.
I would say do not wait for an opportunity, always create your own. As you can see what is happening right now, at the time this probably will go up. There's a writer strike happening, and just the business itself has shifted since COVID started. It really put it on its head. So I would always say don't wait for the handout. Always create your own work if you can. If you don't, delegate, ask for help. Like Issa Rae says, network across, ask your peers. You guys can get there together. There's enough room for everyone, first and foremost. And I've noticed that has helped me grow. And iron sharpens iron. Like my peers now, we have a thing that we do. We meet at least once a week to check in on each other creatively. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
have you been working on your magazine? Okay, I need help in this area. So we'll delegate. Hey, have you been working on your EP? Okay, do you want to shoot sketches this week? I'll help you film. At least once a week, check in with your peers that you're creating or with or our other creatives, and it'll help you guys get through together
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to depend on an industry that can sometimes be unstable. You've got to make a way for yourself. Period. You have to.
Mm-hmm. And so
It's like, yeah,
what's been your avenue? I know you do YouTube. What
yeah.
what is the avenue for you?
It started off on Instagram, and one of my peers was the one that told me that you can earn and generate revenue on YouTube. I didn't even know that
Mm-hmm.
until 2020. I was so late to the
Wow.
party. Right. He was like, "Why don't you have it on YouTube?" I was like, "For what?" He's like, "You can literally take this material, put it on there, and generate an income." I was like, "You can make money online," but that's a part of that, like not being knowledgeable about the internet era. But you have friends that care about what you do or just care about you and are
Mm-hmm.
willing to give the knowledge that everyone else is hoarding. So,
Mm-hmm.
he showed me the road. Shout out to Ken Edwin for that. And he was just like, "Yeah, I will help you through it. Whatever you have questions, feel free to ask." So
Okay.
yeah, that's how I navigated and shifted over to YouTube. And it's just, I feel like it's a much gentler audience over there. Of course, you still have people that troll. Instagram and Twitter, I feel like, are toxic on another level. But for stuff like this that we're trying to create that is transformational, motivational, informative, YouTube is a really great space for that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm kind of like trying to shift more that way with my content for sure.
And what content do you want to create?
Fun anime stuff because I feel like a lot of us blurs don't get enough credit. I feel like there's a stigma behind what they think nerdy Black people look like, first and foremost. And it's now, I think, becoming cooler to be Black and nerdy. Before, you would probably get ragged on or clowned on for being smart, speaking white, liking comics, anything that's like smart or technological.
Mm-hmm.
At this day and age, I love the duality that, yeah, I could be into the ratchet shit, but also still, bust out a book. Like right now, I'm reading The Millionaire Mind, but I'm probably going to watch some ratchet TV later on in my day. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the duality that I love to show on my channel about that because it just brings forth a more authentic audience that can resonate with me. You know what
Side
I mean?
note, I can
Yeah.
imagine you as an anime character.
Oh, thank you. What's going to be
You
my name?
Lavender.
Of
Period.
course.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean the hair, it just matches.
Thank
Like,
you.
I love that. Can you tell me what it is about anime that people like? Like I have not got into it. I've seen one or two, but what is it? Explain
I
it.
think it's the action. For me, I think it's the action. And for me, it's like a type of escapism. I get to transport into some other world. And I'm also learning another language. I watch them with the subtitles. So I listen to the Japanese and read them. Most people might dub it and they listen to the English version. For
Mhm.
me, my love for anime or just animated action cartoons started from back in the day when we didn't have computers. So I was watching Cartoon Network after school. I'd do my homework. The action cartoons was like 4 to 6. So you have like Tsunami. I was watching the Powerpuff Girls, Gundam Wing, that kind of stuff. And I kept with it and stayed with it. And then it transferred over to like Dragon Ball Z. And you would listen to it's kind of like, think of it like the soap opera of cartoons. They go on forever. There's
Mhm.
always some overarching enemy, drama, love interest. All of that is in there, but it's just in like cartoon form, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. You
Mhm.
have your favorite characters you fall in love with. You want to know what happens next. And it's kind of almost like that Harry Potter thing. There's many of books you can read, and then they turn them into films. Same rules apply. So that's the reason why I personally love anime so much.
Okay, so when I guess when I was thinking anime, I was thinking the ones on your wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two.
Oh yeah, I was thinking those specifically but when you said Powerpuff Girls, I was like, oh.
That's considered an anime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that. I was like, oh, I like them too, I guess. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, those on your wall to me
Yeah.
are so different than
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls, but I guess not really. when I think
It's
about
just
it?
the type of animation that it is. You know, of course, Powerpuff Girls, they're younger. At the time I was watching it, I was also younger. But now that I'm much older and more mature, I can watch more mature anime with more mature themes and things like that. So that's
Mhm.
what this is about. Like One Punch Man here, very action driven. They curse. It's very sarcastic. So it's more adult driven, where it's like, okay, people our age can enjoy an anime like that. It's not so like kiddish or
Mhm.
childish, if you will, for them.
And so what kind of content do you want to create with anime in mind? What are you
Well,
thinking?
now I do like some reviews on some of my favorite animes. Like I have some on my gaming channel. So it'll be like, let's say I just reviewed a last episode of Demon Slayer episode 9 that I just watched. So I've done stuff like that. I might give my commentary. If I watch an animated film, I would review stuff like that. Predictions on what I think would happen next. So it's kind of more in that reaction review space that I'm doing with anime right now. Because I'll talk your head off. So that I know I can do. And I'm really passionate about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I'm doing with my anime content at this time.
I like that. I like that. Okay, okay. Who are some people you're looking up to right now?
Ooh, and like in general,
Yeah.
oh, Michelle Obama.
Oh, okay.
Michelle Obama. There is something about her. I don't get to see her often online, but every time I do, it's like a breath of fresh air. Love this. I love me some Michelle Obama. She's gonna tell it like it is. I would say my second after that is Issa Rae. There's something about her I just enjoy. It's like I don't care if she's making a hamburger, walking down the street, or writing the next best series. It's just something about her aura all the way around for me that I just love.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Maybe it's the camaraderie and just how forthright she is and unapologetic about how quirky, how weird, how awkward she is. I just love that.
And unapologetically Black.
That too. Absolutely. I just love that about her.
Mm-hmm.
Love, love, love that about her.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, her. And you know who else has been on my radar? Low key. She's kind of creeping up on me.
Who's that?
Quinta Brown. I think that's her last name from Abbott Elementary. She's got the round eyes, round face. Oh,
Yes.
I even loved her from Black Lady Sketch Show, the first season. I was like, who is this woman? She is really funny. And just like, I love the dry humor. She's been on my to do lately. I'm really, really feeling her right about now, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So are you planning to connect with any of these ladies?
I've put it on my mood board, so fingers crossed. We'll see. God damn it! Especially, I would love to meet Quinta and Issa. I think I'd pass out if I do. I don't fangirl often, but those two, yes,
I love it.
it'll be a moment for me.
I love it. Um,
Mhm.
let's see. So we
Yeah.
touched a little bit of the beauty. Give me
Hmm.
some on the health. So I've been watching your journey with working out, with
Yes.
eating better. Like, tell me what your current things are that you're doing now and what's been really transforming your life and in the health space.
Okay, so I'm a vegetarian, but I dibble and dabble with seafood occasionally if my iron is low.
Mhm.
I love working out outdoors. During the pandemic, obviously, working out was difficult for everyone. Everyone was gaining weight. Nobody could really go to gyms. That's when I learned more innovative and fun ways that I forgot childlike how to work out because we always were outside.
Mhm.
So I definitely started running outside, but most importantly, I found jump rope. I forgot how much I love to jump rope and double dutch and do those things. Doing that, I inspired other people to get jump ropes. They would tag me in their videos and it made me feel good. I didn't think something that like a $3 and $4 jump rope would get me in shape like that. It's a full body workout. I was able to drop 40 pounds that year. I got a weighted jump rope. I've got speed jump rope. So it's a really, you just go find a corner jump rope for about 15 to 30 minutes if you want. It's equivalent to running like 2 to 4 miles, depending on how long you jump.
Wow.
Right. So in this full body. So I really started to get good with it. Like I said, to the point, a lot of those people that now that I'm getting back into it again are like, oh my goodness, I always looked forward to your jump rope videos. It really inspired me to lose weight, and they definitely would show me their progress, which made me feel good. So when it came to fitness, I don't know, I just loved working out outdoors. I'm an outdoors kind of person, but I know at the time it was a difficult thing to do. I do hike a lot. I like to work out with stuff that doesn't make me feel like I'm working out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like hiking and jumping rope, they seem like very fun, strenuous activities, but I am burning calories versus, running on the treadmill or lifting weights and so on. So that's how my workout regimen has been going so far. I
Mm-hmm.
try to dedicate some time to myself at least 3 times a week to do that. If I can do 5, that's great. But at least at the bare minimum of 3, gets my endorphins going, puts me in a better mood.
Mm-hmm.
Even just to function and work, it just gets my brain going. That's usually how I start my morning at like 6:30 in the morning. I either go out for a run or I'll jump rope or I'll hike.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll come back home and start my day. And I just feel so much more energized when I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. You should start a jump rope challenge.
Oh my God. Everyone was like, are you going to do classes? Everyone has been asking me to do that. Everyone.
Oh, I would love that. Okay.
It's fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
prep, jump rope, you put on your favorite jams and you go for like 30, the 30 minutes will just pass you by. You wouldn't even know. It's really
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add that to my regimen.
I was going to say, how do you feel about fitness? What are you doing on your fitness journey?
Right
I hate
now,
the word journey, but fitness.
right now, I've just noticed how much food has maintained my weight.
Okay.
So
Oh,
intermittent fasting, um, eating between certain hours,
I do
eating,
that as well. Yeah.
yes, eating what you want, but also eating smaller portions.
Hmm. Most important, I found when losing weight, when I meal prepped, that is what kept my appetite under control. And I
Mhm.
definitely had more like high fiber and less fat soluble. I think that's how you say that, foods. But
Mhm.
yeah, it kept me fuller longer. And I
Mhm.
would always opt for like fruit and water at the top of the morning. I was less hungry throughout the day. If I had
Mhm.
a very sugary or high sodium breakfast, I was hungrier throughout the day. So yeah, those things do make a difference on what you eat and the time frame in which you eat them.
Mhm. Fasting, water
Yeah.
fasting. So
Yeah.
not eating for 3 days is the goal.
Wow. I have
Yeah.
yet to do that.
Ooh, girl.
I will smoothie and juice it up with just water. I haven't got the discipline yet.
It
I
and
think the furthest was like 24 hours for me. And I was like, okay.
yeah, and yeah,
I'm
that's the part
cranky.
you have to get through before you start being like, okay, like I don't need it. And
Okay.
the that third day, your discipline level is on a whole different level. Like you just start seeing it reflect in all areas that you were undisciplined in. You're like, okay, well, if I cannot eat for 3 days, I don't
Right.
do anything. I mean
Okay.
that's that's hard. It's
It
hard.
is.
But then the
It
more you
really
do it, the more you start being able to breathe during those moments. Like when you're really hungry and your stomach is starting to like tense up,
is.
you breathe through your nose, drink some water,
Hmm.
do an
Hmm.
activity.
Okay.
And the next thing you know, like it's been 2 hours.
Wow. I was just
You
gonna
haven't
ask
thought
you,
about
do you
this.
still work out while you fast, doing water fasting at that time?
Sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot.
Okay. That's
I
honest.
I don't force it. So like
Okay.
I might go in, do like 15 minutes on the treadmill and then or the elliptical. And then if I'm low energy, I just don't force it and I'll leave.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
yeah, listen to your body.
For sure.
Yes.
For
And just
sure.
eat the fast. So whatever
Heard
I have
that.
to do, sometimes I need 2 naps that day to get through it, you
You're
know,
right.
but during that time of listening to your body would tell you what you need to get through it.
Okay.
And what
That's
else?
good to know. I'll add that to my to-do. I was just like, I can't yet. But
Please,
I have yet to know anyone who's ever done it.
please let me know how it affects you. And if you feel the same type of discipline, because I think that's the number one thing I look for is finding ways to find more discipline in my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that for you. That's fantastic.
Thank you. And YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut me
Oh,
on.
that helps you get through those watching YouTube videos.
No,
You
like
went on a
like
marathon?
YouTube workouts.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I find me a fine piece of chocolate, you know, and Mr. London, shout out to Mr. London.
Oh my God, he's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Daddy, I love you very much when you see this podcast, but he is one of my favorites.
He cuts on it. He brings the London accent. He's like, "You can do it, ladies. Come on, let's go."
You want to get rid of that food, Pa? You want to get rid of the food, Pa? Love to see it. Fun time, for sure. For sure.
Cutting him on, getting 15 minutes in, just every single day, just implementing something towards my goal. So that's been fitness. But yeah, outside of that, I realized mental is really the key in all of it. Which brings me a good question to you. What keeps mental strength through hard times?
It's hard. Let me start with that. I'm not perfect. It's still a work in progress for me. Like I said, going back to what we said previous, journaling. I just have to get my thoughts out of my head and on paper. Growing up, like, I don't want to say isolated, but I'm the oldest of the girls, but I was raised alone. So I'm okay with being by myself, but I always would talk to myself and just kind of go through my own thoughts. But writing them on paper and going back to review them at a later date really helps me because I just feel that I have a hard time finishing like a stream of consciousness and my mind's going a mile a minute. So if I can jot down as fast as I can get that, and I'm like, okay, let me go back to this and kind of reread what was happening at this time. It makes it a whole lot easier for me, whether I'm like drawing stick figures or shapes just to get the thoughts out. That is what's had. I have so many books and journals and notepads in this house of just my thoughts on paper.
You or me, you. Girl.
Yeah, I was like just trying to understand them. So many thoughts pass your mind through the course of a 24-hour day.
Insane.
You just can't get to them all. You just can't.
Insane. Like that is crazy. You have to be like, sometimes I have to be like, stop. Yeah. You're doing too much. Like, I'm trying to get shit done. Yes. Turn off, please.
Yes, I can agree with that. It's been very difficult. And I think the older I get, the more I've been finding myself doing more critical thinking. I know some generations, they're not into that, but I really find myself like, I'll sit in the house quiet for at least an hour or two to just critically think about things.
Right.
Just kind of weigh the pros and cons in my head a little bit. But yeah, organizing my thoughts on paper has definitely helped. I will say that.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Well, this recording is ending. So can you please tell people, I know, please tell people so fast. Please tell people where they can find you and how to get in contact with you and maybe something to look forward to when they find you. What advice?
Love to see it. Greetings, everyone. My name is Lavenda Monroe. You can find me at symbol. I am Lavenda Monroe across all platforms. That includes Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. What you could look forward to. We have a feature film dropping in August by Jamar Hill. The trailer is up now. Show some love. Pew, pew, pew. And of course, some of my fun anime videos over on my Instagram because we are having a fun, blurred time over there. Okay. I think that's it before I make this awkward. But yeah.
Thank you so much. This was a great podcast.
Thank you, beautiful.
And let's